There are people who, no matter how hard the storms hit, do not fall. They may bend, they may suffer, but they remain standing. It seems as if there is an invisible force inside them, something that makes them unshakable while others collapse. What is this force? How is it possible to endure pain, betrayal, loss, or fear without losing yourself? The answer lies in the meeting of two great powers, Stoicism and spirituality. Together they mold souls that the world cannot break. Stoicism was born more than 2,000 years ago, taught by philosophers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. Its central message is simple yet profound. We cannot control what happens to us, but we can always control how we respond. This truth alone has the power to free the soul from despair. While most people crumble because of events beyond their control, the Stoic learns to remain firm, understanding that the true battlefield is not outside, but within. But Stoicism, while powerful, can become cold if lived alone. It teaches discipline and endurance, but it does not always answer the deeper questions of meaning. This is where spirituality enters. Spirituality reveals that behind the storms there is a God who sustains, a greater purpose, and an eternal hope. Where Stoicism says, accept what you cannot change, spirituality adds, trust in the one who can transform everything. Together, these two create a complete armor for the soul. An unshakable soul is not the one that never feels pain. It is the one that knows pain cannot define it. The Stoic wisdom teaches that emotions are natural, but they must not enslave us. Fear, anger, anxiety, they come, but they do not need to control us. Spirituality transforms these same emotions through divine presence. Fear turns into faith. Anger is softened by forgiveness. Anxiety dissolves in the peace that surpasses understanding. What Stoicism manages, spirituality sanctifies. The invisible force that makes souls unshakable is not about being stronger than everyone else. It is about having foundations that others lack. Imagine two houses, one built on sand, the other on rock. The same storm hits both, but only one stands. The Stoic builds his house on discipline and reason. The spiritual person builds it on faith and eternal truth. But the one who unites both builds a fortress so firm that no storm can destroy. Daily practice is what shapes this strength. The Stoic wakes up reflecting on what he can and cannot control, preparing the soul to accept adversity without despair. The spiritual person wakes up in prayer, aligning their spirit with God and drawing strength from His presence. When combined, these practices create a life of resilience and purpose. Every morning becomes training for the soul, and every night becomes rest in divine hands. History is filled with people who embodied this invisible force. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, faced wars, betrayals, and personal losses, yet wrote in his meditations about remaining serene and just. Centuries later, people of faith endured persecution, hunger, and even death with peace in their hearts, because they trusted in promises greater than this world. Different paths, but the same result: souls the world could not shake. And today, this same force is available to you. You do not need to be an emperor or a saint. You only need to decide that your soul will not be enslaved by what happens around you. You need to cultivate discipline in your mind and faith in your spirit. That combination is the invisible shield that turns ordinary people into extraordinary beings. Perhaps you are facing storms right now. Maybe you feel that life has hit too hard, that your strength is failing. This is the moment to remember the Stoic teaching. You have power over your mind, not outside events. And also the spiritual truth. Greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. Together, these two voices remind you that you are stronger than you think, and you are never alone. The invisible force is not visible to the eyes. It is felt in the heart. It is the peace that remains when everything falls apart. It is the courage to move forward when fear tries to paralyze you. It is the certainty that your life has meaning, even when the world does not understand. This force is the meeting of Stoicism and spirituality, reason and faith, discipline and surrender. If you cultivate this encounter daily, your soul will become unshakable. Not because you will live without storms, but because storms will no longer have the power to destroy you. You will remain standing, rooted in wisdom, lifted by faith, and shaped by the invisible force that only a few discover. Motivation you need, where your awareness expands and your soul finds direction.